descend and maintain 2074.
Who am I?
Comet 504, descend and maintain 3,000. 3,000, Comet 504.
Answer Captain 724 is our traffic about
In my 20s, I dream of flying a plane. Due to having glasses, I thought it's not possible. In mid-2016, I started to have foggy vision. After I checked out, the doctor said I have cataract in both my eyes. Wow! I really never expect this. I felt like taking a trip to the moon, jumping up and down. I'm filled with excitement. But the unexpected turns out into my reality. The cold, hard truth. I need to step into divorce. My mom said her final goodbye, and my family broke apart. I stepped into a solitude journey. This is the best journey I ever experienced. It was super challenging. My achievement, the award-winning author, from housewife to pilot, the beginning.
Comet 504, descend and maintain 3,000. 3,000, Comet 504.
I'm Keiko Lim. I'm here holding your hands, guiding you every steps to discover your potential, harness that energy, bring it to your reality, and make your dreams come true.
Comet 504, radio speed of 170 per tower space. You get following a Boeing 727, 1 o'clock, 6 miles right base, descending on a 3,500.
Hello and welcome to Tuesday with Keiko. Today, my guest speaker is Danielle Lipton. She is globally recognized channel for extraterrestrial beings known as the Star People. This collective comprises different races from multiple planets, all united in their mission to aid humanity's evolution and spiritual growth. She is currently married to an Arcturian who assists her with her channeling and writing. Together, they are focused on manifesting 5D frequencies cast into the human consciousness grids, thus enabling the planet to elevate its consciousness into a higher frequency range. They have co-authored the books My Ascension Guide and Keys to My Ascensions and produced over 100 online informational videos covering various ascensions topics. All videos are located online as a free source of knowledge for the people, by the people, and with the intent to assist activating humanity's evolutions of the senses. Welcome, Daniela.
Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for having me today. It's a blessing and an honor.
Yes, it's nice to have you on the show.
Thank you. So as we begin, we just ever so gently want every single one of us to just come together with an Om. Now, what an Om does is it opens and expands the heart chakra system, allowing each of us to hold the emotion of unconditional love, dear ones. And the star people are ever so gently stepping forward. The Om is going to allow your frequency to raise, allowing for a cleaner, crisp channeling session. Deep breath in. And one more. Deep breath in. And we are sending many, many love and blessings, dear ones. Thank you. Thank you, dear star people, for bringing the
Thank
best,
you. Thank you.
most aligned information for all the individuals watching today. Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Daniela, share with the audience a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I am a channeler of star people. What I do basically is any and all information that the star people channel through me is mostly pertaining to ascension knowledge. Now, ascension has gone in many different ways. It's any information that's going to help us live our human lives and reach for the stars and help us to grow and evolve and really see above what is actually here, what we've been told is here in the physical reality, and allow us to shift a level of perception that allows access into an area of time and space where we operate as the all. So that grants access into both the magical creature kingdoms and the worlds among worlds, which is a true multidimensionality perspective.
May I ask how you cope with the journey of transformation in your life, especially being a channel for star people?
Yes, absolutely. So the star people, and I am very humble and grateful for all of their guidance and all of their support that they have gently guided me along my own individual path of ascension. And this path started, it was not always easy. It did include, tough times and tears. And somehow or another, they always helped me to find my way through it. But I feel like my journey is really what set the stage for all of the information that I brought forward. Because my Ascension Guide literally is my book in which I was going through things on my healing path. And as I was going through them, I would ask the star people, why did this happen? And then they would send me this massive download. Well, it happened because of this. And then I would just take it and I was, that was the most important information in the moment. And I was like, everybody needs to know this. And so I would write it all down and I would post all of the information on Facebook for free. So that this way it could help other people on their journeys as well. And, being that it hasn't been easy, it really has brought me to a place in which I have learned most of the emotion. It's like all of the emotion codes that a human being can hold or experience. And all of those emotion codes, learning to then overcome them, has led me to be properly trained in attachment release sessions. And what that is an energetic messenger that energetically bonds with a human being, and it triggers those thoughts, feelings, and emotions inside of us. Now, when we learn to master each and every emotion code, it then allows us to rise above that experience as a whole. For the second that we master the emotion, a new emotion code will come down, allowing us to clear that one. The process of ascension is really going through all the emotion codes that we have taken on as in the ancestral karma, as well as any emotions that we personally have triggered. And when we master all of the emotions that we have, or we triggered, or they're encoded into the DNA, it allows us to raise our frequency to above time and space. Yeah.
And how does this emotion code works? Do you see it in the form of light, or do you see it in the form of text? Or
the emotion codes, that's a really good question, actually, because sometimes, it's all the time, before I interact with any person, I feel the emotions before interacting into their energy field. And so what that looks like is if a person is going through an emotion of grief, let's just use that one as an example. I may wake up in the morning and I may feel grief, and it's like, where is this emotion coming from? Why is it here? And then I go through a transmutation process where I clear it and I raise myself above it, so I heal it. And then I may run into a person later on throughout the day and they are experiencing the emotion of grief. Now, before we come into contact with any person in this world, there's an energy cord that connects both of us. This allows for a form of magnetics, dear ones, those magnetic cords then attract each individual together in order for both individuals to have the experience that is in alignment. Now, when you come into that awareness, it then allows you to fine-tune your magnetic grids. And when each individual starts to fine-tune the energetic grid complex as a whole, you may now then start to call forward individuals you wish to have experiences with. However, knowledge of each magnetic emotion that you are holding is key. Learning those emotions, overcoming those emotions, and then witnessing those emotions in other people around you is how you are able to transmutate each emotion. For the process of transmutating the emotions allows you to then clear that emotion from your field. Once the emotion is properly cleared, it allows your awareness to step into a higher brick of consciousness. This higher brick of consciousness shall then allow for different experiences, different people, or different items to be called forward in your reality. Thank you, sir.
Once we go past that and we are able to call something into our reality.
Yes. So calling things into the reality is a form of manifestation. So how does the item feel? It doesn't necessarily have to be an item like a crystal.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, how does it feel? So we may use your mom as an example. How does it feel standing in front of your mom? How does it feel when she hugs you? When you hold all of those emotions and you think about your mom, it starts to form an energy cord, allowing the two of you to become corded up. And then you walk through your day to day, and you may see or witness your mom, or your mom may even call you on the phone. Now, many times this happens automatically. You may have someone come into your mind, and then you see them. And that is because your telepathy was activating. There is an energy cord placed. And the second there was an energy cord placed, all you have to do is release resistance and let go, and just know in your heart you may run into that individual.
I see. I really wish that I can see my mom, because my mom passed away in June 21. So I really wish I could see her and could ask her how she feel now
Well, you
as
can.
a spirit.
You actually can. And that's done by going inwards. So the spirit of your mom lives on throughout time and space. You cannot kill light. You cannot kill energy. So that is something where the second it is permanent, because you cannot remove it. Now, all soul forms are made and comprised of light, which means you cannot kill a soul. You can shade the soul, which is what we do here in the physical reality with the body. The body contains shades that make it so you are not able to see or perceive the light unless you have an attunement to do so. However, when we talk about our ancestors, which your mother is your ancestor, when we think about that, we are able to consciously close our eyes and go inwards. We are able to think all of the emotions. How did your mom make you feel? Think about your mom. And then what's happening is her soul form is going to pull down a little energy tubule. It is going to take its place in the seat of your heart. This is known as a personality grid complex. And when it takes its spot in there, you are able to channel through how would your mom feel? What information would your mom give you? What words would your mom like to tell you? All that information gets channeled directly from that soul form. Yes. That's known as mediumship as well. Yes.
May I ask, is any one of us can be a medium, or is just to a specific person that they are gifted this gift, then they are able to be a medium?
Excellent. That's a great question too. So every single one of us is a channel, and every single one of us is a medium, because this is the way the body and the energy grids work naturally. So anytime, let's speak about channeling. Anytime that you're with a group of people You may act a certain way. And then when you're with a second group of people, like let's say you're with your friends or you're with your family, there's two different sides of you that is expressed depending
That's
on,
right.
yes. Now,
Yeah.
what's actually happening is you're pulling a different light stream down through your soul form, and it is taking a seat in the personality grid complex depending on who you're with. That's the way the system works. So any being, any entity throughout time and space, we are able to pull down a tiny little fractalized piece of their soul and then allow that to take its seat in the personality grid complex, which then allows us to channel through any information from that soul form. That's only an individual level. We are also able to do it with tree spirits, mushroom spirits, the animal kingdom. We are able to do entire planetary consciousnesses. The star people also work on different consciousness levels. So they are able to take all of their thought grids and energetically blend them and speak as one entire celestial being, which is then fractalized into all of their individual consciousnesses. But that is a form of communication that all of them step forward and do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's of course for me, I'll find it difficult to understand how they actually communicate to us. It's just like a crystal. How to communicate with a crystal? Because it's like when I carry crystal with me, aquamarine, I can feel the energy, but I have no idea how the crystal actually communicate with me.
That's okay. So now there's several different ways of starting to learn to communicate with the crystals. Now, when we hold a crystal, that crystal actually triggers the nervous system net. It's comprised of the meridians and the ley lines that interfold, and it's like a graph system. It's a net that runs directly underneath the skin. Every single word that we speak, every single thought that we have in our mind, every single crystal or every single thing we drink or eat, it actually affects this nervous system net by pulling it differently. So when we start to speak each different word, we can feel how the net or the energy underneath the skin starts to change itself. And when we are starting to learn to communicate with the crystal, we can start to identify how the energy shifts depending on the crystal. Now, usually when we start this process, it's by identifying different crystals and how they make us feel. However, you are able to have one crystal and ask the crystal, thank you, crystal, for giving me a thought or an emotion. They may give both at once, which is generally how they communicate. And then you see or feel the nervous system net. How did it change or flow? What did it make you feel? What emotions were brought up inside? And what thoughts did you have inside of your mind? That is how they communicate. So just having that awareness, it already is going to level you up, because the second you know how the crystals can communicate, now it's all about sitting down with the crystal and allowing the crystal to give you the thought and the emotion. And how does it make you feel? The more you can identify how it makes you feel, the more and more you can allow further communication with the crystalline kingdom.
For me, I don't feel at the level like you mentioned, but one of the crystal that I have, which is crazy lace, and when I bring it out with me, what I know is I will meet someone that is cheerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what that crystal is doing is it's changing your nervous system net to enhance or encode you with the emotion code of joyful. The more and
I
more
see.
that you hold that crystal, the emotion of joyful will then shift your nervous system net, allowing for you to manifest that emotion code. That is of high value to recognize what the crystal naturally admits. However, dear one, if you are asking the crystal questions and you can identify that that crystal is always fluctuating a frequency of joyful, any answers that you receive from that crystal is going to be filtered through a lens of joyfulness. For that is how you can start to sense the crystal's personality.
I see. This is interesting. The third question for you is how you step into a breakthrough when you know you are having an extraordinary connection with star people.
So it really is just a baby step process. And it's, I didn't really think, well, I mean, in the beginning, I thought it is very special. I mean, how do I even answer that? I just stayed in the now moment, and they guided me to just stay very humble and caring and to just do what I was already doing. And what I was already doing, honestly, I've been doing this since as long as I can remember. If somebody needed my help, I would stop everything to help them. And at one point, I started looking at the civilization, and there was a lot of fear back then, and this was 2 years
Yes.
ago. And I had just remembered the one night I went into my backyard, I looked up at the stars, and I asked, and I was like, if anyone is up there and watching, please help this planet. And years go by, and then one more time I did it again in my backyard, crying this time because I thought everything was going to end. And it was Y2K or one of those fun things. And they flew a ship over my house when I was upset. And that's when I knew that my prayers had been answered, and somebody somewhere was going to help us. And then we fast forward to 2022. Now, at this point, I knew I was a channel, and I had been taking all of the information that the star people were giving me and putting it all online for free for everyone, because I'm a big fan of Together We Rise. And when we come together and we heal each other, and we do it because we love each other, it then allows the entire planet to heal itself. And in 2022, the Arcturians came down, and that's when I met my starman. And that's when we had this just amazing time of, he was with me always, making me feel better and helping me to really release my traumas, my pains, and really just taking my body from it needing to be healed, and then helping me to just raise my awareness and put more love and more light and more blessings into every single aspect of my life. And that truly is the breakthrough. It's when you can go from, a damaged, broken body with no love, and then you can go through a whole healing process. And, extraterrestrials aside, that's a breakthrough. Because to go from no love to go to unconditional love is something that every single one of us can do. And that truly, you don't need star people to do it. You just need to take the baby steps and find to love yourself again. And that right there has the greatest potential for each and every one of us to change and revolutionize our entire life. And not only our life, because when we heal ourselves, we end up healing a bunch of people outside of us that we weren't even aware of, because they witnessed this happening. So, yeah, it's a blessing. It's absolutely a blessing.
It is. The fourth question, how you gain clarity of what you love doing?
Wow. Does it make you happy and excited? Because the second, and I've always known this, but the second people ask me questions, especially on spiritual topics, it's like my excitement goes through the roof, and it's like, now I know this is why I'm here. But I have to tell you something. Before the spiritual knowledge really came into play, or even the conspiracy, because I started with the conspiracy first. But there's always a problem, a reaction, and a solution.
Yes.
The conspiracy was, this is a darkness, and now here's a light for me. And so, but talking about that, it just seemed to be the most exciting thing in my life, especially the spiritual knowledge, because that's truly where our power is. So,
I agree.
Yeah, but before that, it was kind of like I was good at a lot of things that I did, but I would get into it, and then after a while, I was just phased out, right? It was couldn't really hold my attention or focus for too long. So when you find your highest passion, you'll know it. It comes from your heart.
So true. Because for me, I also find it hard to focus, especially after my mom passed away. Focus is out the window. And, I just take small steps to slowly adjust myself and my lifestyle. So, and up till today, hear my podcast.
Yeah. Learn it and keep asking other people to come on and be guests. And the more and more you
Yes.
do that, the more it unlocks for you.
Yes. And because it's like why I started this podcast is because I myself, I've been through a huge transformation in my life. After divorce, my mom said her final goodbye and my family broke apart. It was really challenging for me at that time. And I just took baby steps, and each time I'll just spend some time to the forest, to take a walk in the forest. At least it's like, to absorb the positive energy in the forest, and it will make me feel brighter. And yeah, I just take one step at a time to heal. It is
That's
huge.
really important to bring up is the forest, because even here by my house I have a
Mm,
mountain, so I have a forest. That trail takes about an hour, but there's
mm,
different activations that we can do while we're in the forest. So just taking your hands and placing them on two trees, I usually do
mm-hmm.
two. It actually starts a process of healing your body very rapidly when you
I
thank
see.
Mother Earth for healing you. So whenever we get that pull to go into the forest, go right away, because that
Mm,
means that your magnetics are going to be realigned to put you onto your highest potential timeline. Now, your highest potential timeline is always for that day. So whatever your highest potential for that day is what could potentially manifest for you. And then the more and more you focus every single day on activating your highest potential timeline, that is when your body starts to raise its frequency. And then all of a sudden you can shift into a different timeline expression or a parallel version of you. Is
but
how.
how do I know I'm able to shift into another timeline?
Well, I had a friend hug me. This is the first time I've ever met this friend,
Mm,
and I took 3 steps back, and I had this instantaneous deja vu wash over me, and
mm-hmm.
I got super excited in the moment, and I pointed at her, and I was like, "You were there. You were there in the other timeline, and you did something right now." And I started pointing at her. She had no idea what I was talking about. She was very physically focused. She really didn't, doesn't know all the spiritual information. She was just
Yeah.
like, she was like, okay, I know now what had happened, because when we hug someone, the heart allows for a soul imprinting, and it happens very rapidly, very rapidly. So when we heart to hug people, we really want to make sure that the individual that we are heart to heart hugging has our highest and best intentions. Otherwise, they are imprinting whatever emotions that they are holding directly into our soul's tubule. So
I see.
this is a reason why we bow, because bowing doesn't allow access into the direct 0 point of the heart, and it's really really important, especially just to become aware of it at least. And then if you have any intuition that someone may not have your best and highest, then don't hug them. It's okay to take a step
Mm,
to bow, and it's okay to do it until you learn to activate your telepathy. And it's okay to do it to all people until you activate your telepathy, which is where I am right now. So there's some
mm,
people I'll hug, and then if I really am unaware of the person, I'll just gently bow. So
mm.
because of this deja vu and heart to heart hug. Now, once again, if the person is your highest and best interests, you may not notice the deja vu. I saw it, so I know what happened. You may not notice it, but the second you heart to heart hug, it is shifting your frequency, and it's very rapid. So if you can imagine they took a piano and a tuning fork and they put them
Mm-hmm.
across the rooms. Now, let's say the tuning fork is a key C, and
Yeah.
they went to the piano and they pushed the C button. The tuning fork started to vibrate across the room.
Yeah.
And so this is what happens with the heart hug. When
I
somebody
see.
energetically casts that emotion into your heart, it automatically starts to put you in whatever frequency that they are casting. So it's not really their frequency. It's whatever thoughts and feelings that they are sending into your heart. So if they are sending unconditional love and light, now what my friend sent was, I always want what's best for you. Because that was her mantra. She had been saying that since she was
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah.
so, but it is going to have a real solidified effect on your body, which is amazing. It's amazing to know that, but this is the reason why they bow.
I see. So now I learned something new.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I understand that making love is something that is special. So when two person comes together, when they make love, there's actually an exchange in energy.
Yes.
But I have no idea how that works.
It's not only an exchange of energy. So the woman receives, and so on a physical level, we
Uh-huh.
take genetic material, and it energetically it blends in the physical body, and
Mm-hmm.
every masculine, when we take their DNA, it actually modifies our DNA, and then we can pull our DNA and we can see who we have had as partners. So it actually changes the female's DNA system. Now, it does this because there is a process of telepathic bonding that occurs when we are intimate with people. And, there's energetic cords and bonding that forms when we are intimate. Some of these energetic cords, they do not go away until we sever the bonds between us. So there is a difference between energetic cords and energy bonds. The energetic bond is, just imagine all of the energy cords you've had with the one person spiraled together into a very thick type of cord. That's a bond. That's why people say we are bonded. And that's because we've had many, many, many different experiences of emotions, and it physically bonds you. Now, the second that you break the bonds is the second that you may potentially notice communication blocks. You may notice that person remove themselves from your life, but there is a reason that you would want to go through and break the bonds between people. Because if that person really has your highest and best and loves you, then the bonds reform. And if that person does not love you, they fall out of your life. So the star people had me personally go through a process of breaking the bonds. And when I broke the bonds, I was able to see who was left standing. So, but it's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, it's because in the past I had this experience and I have no idea what is it about, what is the meaning of that. So until because I thought when we meet, uh like for example, my ex-husband and I, we come together, there is a soul contract between us. That is how we come together. And are you able to explain soul contract and those energetic bonds?
Sure. So a soul contract is really like a what if. It's before we drop into this physical reality, two souls would say, okay, if during this moment in your life, if you're in alignment, we will have this experience in the physical reality. Now, of course, they can make it so it's guaranteed 100%, or they can make it so that you have your free will, and depending on where your consciousness flows, if you're in alignment, it will manifest for you. Now, the thing about soul contracts is they're really funny because one soul can radiate down into many bodies in one lifetime. And so there may be another soul form in another body that is connected up to your higher self. So sometimes those contracts look like your husband. And sometimes it's the same soul form in a different person, and you still had the contract to still be with a person, and it's still the same soul form. So you would start to recognize the soul form's identity by feeling their essence. So you may notice that, like, some people have said, oh, my husband, and then my second husband, and they were eerily similar. That's usually because it's the same higher self. So,
I see.
yeah, it's just a different shade system. So the shade is like all the traumas that makes up a person's memories, and then
Yeah.
it changes the flow of the energy. But the energy inside of the body is the same. It's the same soul. Now, I've identified a future version of myself that's here right now in a different body. She's a channel too. So, and that was very early on. She was actually the one who woke me up to the fact that I was a channel for the star people. But I just
I
didn't
see.
have an idea. Yeah,
That's interesting.
yes. So
Yeah,
those
it's
contracts, those soul contracts, all it really is a magnetic alignment. And some of them we get programmed before birth. From the moment of conception, there's a flash of light. That's known as the binary codex frequency. That binary codex frequency is encoded with different magnetic resonances that become activated during certain solar alignments. This may include your 33rd birthday. That's a solar alignment because on your birthday, there is a particular star chart. That star chart then activates your energetic field, allowing those magnetic resonances to then manifest whatever thing you needed to learn when you came here. Now, this is very important because when I was a child, every single person used to tell me, oh, you're an author, you're a writer. And I used to look at them like, nah, you guys don't know what you're talking about. And now, sure enough, here I am later on in life, and now I'm on my second book. So these things are magnetically, imprinted in us from conception and becoming
so
aware of
it's like, can I say it's like our DNA?
Yes.
It's just like when we were kid, and when we are adult, the DNA, there's a shift.
Yes. Yes. Oh, there's a big shift between a child's DNA and an adult's DNA. I believe they say every 7 years that your entire body is made new again. Now, what that looks like is any changes to your emotional frequency is going to change or modify your DNA system. Epigenetics shows us that the power of our emotions can either turn on or turn off different genetic expressions. That means that the happier we are, the healthier we are. So by that logic in itself, what frequency is happiness set to? Because we can generate different frequency generators, and we can literally sit in the emotion of happiness, whatever frequency that is. Usually we do 432 hertz, the same as the earth. And then all of a sudden, it allows your genetic expression to come back into alignment with a happy, positive frequency. So these alignments, though, they are more imprinted into the physical body, dear ones, because certain alignments that your higher self has set must be fulfilled as part of your soul's contract. That is because there are certain things that you came to this level to experience. This is not only including your profession. This is also including certain experiences in order to ever so gently transmutate your karma, as well as ancestral karma. Ancestral karma being the karma that you facilitated when you assigned a family to your birth. That means that in your genetic expression, it took on anything that needs to be healed from that family. Going through the process of healing allows for positive emotions to be held within the DNA spectrum. This then, dear ones, heals the ancestral karma for all individuals in the family. For it clears from the energetic levels first, and then it resonates down into the physical forms of all of the family members, allowing each individual to ever so gently transmutate those cycles ever rapidly. Thank you, Star.
Now, when you mentioned about this, 21, I went back to attend my mom's funeral, and a cousin of mine, both of us, we connected like sisters because we are the same age. And when I saw her, she was basically, I know her frequency is in the negative aspects, and I already have the knowing that we will not be resonating with each other. And true enough, a few days later, she kind of like cut off the connection. When I saw her, I already have that knowing that we are not resonating. Our frequency is not, our vibration is not resonating. So, like for example, in this scenario, I would very much, yeah, how shall I put it? I would very much like to see her in the positive light.
Yeah.
And how am I able to influence her into the positive light direction?
So the first thing that we have to, or that we can choose to do, this is the most ideal, is we have to release resistance. Now, what that means is we literally have to let it go. So if a family member is in a dark frequency, we have to just be okay with them walking through their own experience without adding any judgments. We just send love and light with no expectations. Now, going through the ascension process, there was a time in the beginning where I was learning all of this sacred geometry and quantum physics and, how the reality was structured and all of that information.
Yeah.
And I would go back and I would share it with my family. And they were like, you're crazy. And, after trying and trying and trying, it wasn't helping them. And they were just like hard set in their ways. But the second I threw my hands up and I was like, they are who they are. That's okay too. They started to go through their own awakening process. And so, but what changed wasn't them, it was me. I had to let it go. I had to release it. I had to release the limitations and just allow. Because when you're generating that frequency and you want something that you're showing the universe that you don't have it, but the second that you're okay with whatever it is that you have, it actually opens up and allows for you to receive more. So by letting it go, you will then receive what it is that you truly desire. Or your higher self will know it was never in alignment and it's not meant for you, and that has to be okay too.
I understand that, we can't force things. We can't force things to happen. And of course, it's like my scenario, I know I'm in the elevation. And of course, I will wish that my ex will be able to come on board and join me, but no, it's not possible. I can't force that to happen. And because it's like our journey is like, when I ascend, my vibration is rising, and I know how should I put it? Those people that with the same vibration as me, they will come into my reality. And this group of people will be my friends, where they will support me in my journey. And those that in the past that I knew them, whoever that resonates with me, we will get to meet. But whoever that doesn't resonate with me is a goodbye. We might never meet.
It's bye for now. Because I've had this where, I had to release the old friends. And in the process of releasing them, it allowed them to raise their frequency. And then later on in life, they came back around. So the way I always consider it is it's okay to be bye for now. It's okay for me to send you love and light and to always want to see the best for you, whatever that is, even if you're with me, even if you're not, even if we get into like, even if it ends not so good, right? It's okay for me to send you love and blessings and to really hope for the best for you from my heart, not like being fake or anything. Like it's okay for people to go and live their lives and just send them love and blessings. That's okay too, because once again, when we release, we receive. And so the way it actually works in scientific is, the person that we had, they're here in the energy field as an example. And when that person leaves your energy field, well, the energy field now is naturally going to fulfill that spot. And it's going to work with your magnetics to manifest somebody new so that that spot can allow you to manifest the same experiences, but at a higher frequency. Because when you release someone, it's always because there was a misalignment. So if the person's not in alignment with you and you release them, it means that you're going upwards.
Yeah.
That's how that works. That's okay too.
Yes. And we are here to ascend.
Yes. I mean, you could technically do it where you're doing a swan dive and then all your people leave too. So it can be done in positive or negative. The star people wanted me to clarify that. So a misalignment just means one of you is going up, one is going down, and you're no longer in alignment to receive each other. And that's okay too. So
it's I mean, at the human level, I think it's hard to accept, because, like, for example, my cousin, we have been growing up together, since a child. And in 21 that I went back to attend my mom's funeral and I saw her, I was glad that we are able to come together, we are able to meet and have a chat. And before I left Singapore, I already knew that will happen. So I already, because it's like I understand about vibration. Once your vibration doesn't meet, two people will not come together. And of course, it's like, I wish we are on the same vibration. But that I can't force that. There's no way I can force that.
yeah, we can't force it. We just have to be okay. And then because the right people who are in alignment for you will step forward, and you could even manifest a whole new family, even though they may not be related by blood. But family really, you can make family. You can have these types of
I know. I experienced that. Because that year, 21, I went back and strangers that I met, and I felt like, we know each other for long time. Like, I went to a cafe.
Really interesting when you start to soul family, and you start to, like, I've had breathwork journeys, and all of a sudden all the people in the room were my soul family, and that was really interesting.
Oh, that is nice.
And then you come into that awareness that their higher self is friends with your higher self, and that's your soul family, and you guys come into this reality to have these experiences over and over again. But even then, it's like you could take a vacation or something, and then you could come into an awareness of someone else being soul family. So it's
I experienced that too.
Yeah,
because in 22, I went round trip in southern Germany. So during the trip, those people that I met, I guess it's my soul family. When we click, we connect. Just strangers, we are strangers, and we are able to click and connect, and we travel together for a short distance. So it's really amazing.
Did you stay in contact with them?
No, never really stay in contact with them. But it's really amazing at that moment. It's like, we feel like, we know each other for long, sort of like, that kind of like old friends, or but then we just met each other at that point in time. It was amazing.
That's beautiful. Now,
Yes.
next step is, because once you start having several of these experiences,
Mm.
you can actually go into meditation and you can ask your higher self for your soul's name. And your soul is your higher self. That's who that is. And each of us has a name. And then when we allow
Mhm.
that name to come to us, you have to embody it. And when you start to embody that name, it actually allows the higher self to energetically bond and flowers open inside of the heart. And then you become the higher self. So that's also a process of ascension, is starting to identify and recognize multiple past lives, multiple soul family members from different tribes, because they're all over the place. They're,
Mhm.
like you said, you can go over to Germany and find them, but then their higher selves are connected to people over here as well. So you can start to see, oh, okay, so that's whose soul you are. And then you go over here and you see someone else and you're like, you have the same soul as this person. I've seen this in my life already, so I know that this is how it works. And when you can identify your soul's name, this is where it really gets interesting, because it
How
starts.
how how do I identify my soul name?
You have to go into meditation and you have to
Uh-huh.
contact your higher self and ask the higher self to give you a name. The higher self may give you the name in a multitude of ways. She may tell you your name, or he, it's like a soul, so it's non-binary. You may
Mm.
receive the name during the meditation, or one of your soul family members may tell you the name, and then another one may confirm it. And then you may have a third confirmation in your life. And then at that point, once you've had the three confirmations, then you know, oh, okay, that's my higher self's name. That's who I am. But the
Mm.
most important part is the second that you have that name, you become that person. And when you become that
Mm.
person, there's a whole process of unlocking your memory grid complex that comes very rapidly the second that you know the soul's name. It's amazing.
Yeah. Do I need to set intention, like I would like to know my higher self name?
Yes,
Do I need to set? I need to set an intention.
yes. Set that intention and then drop into the meditation and just allow. And the more you just allow, the higher self is then going to start the process of communication with you. And then whatever
Mm.
that looks like, holding no expectations. And then in time, you shall receive it. Either you receive it from the higher self directly. Many times we'll have it, like the soul name, and you may think you made it up. So if you have it and you think you made it up, just write it down and then see where it comes to you again. So you'll have confirmation of it, and then you'll know. And the second that you know in your heart that is your
Mm.
higher self's name, become that name. It's
Mm.
okay for you to have all your friends and family and all the people call you that name, because it allows your higher self to become you in this reality.
Mm. I see. And there's one more question, because there was a year, I think somewhere, because it's like I stepped into the spiritual journey in 2019,
Okay.
and somewhere between 2019 to uh I think between 2019 to 2021, there was a period of time I see a lot of faces. So could all those faces, it was me, my soul, in all these people's life? Could it be?
Yes, absolutely. It could have been, there's ever so gently, dear ones. There are many, many different fractals of the source frequency. During different meditations, you may either witness multiple faces of your own higher self's journey. This is known as your Akashic Book of Records. It may have shown you exactly who you were in different lifetimes. However, You are also the one. And you are able to see multiple faces from your own planet at first. In time, you may start to perceive during your meditations different faces of other planetary beings as well as your own. And in more time, you may then notice that you may perceive other animals, insects, trees, as well as the entire lens of the source frequency. Once again, dear ones, this is a baby step process of evolution. Usually the first step is identifying your past and future lifetimes. The next step is accessing your quantum codex, which is all parallel version realities. These parallel version realities contain all parallel reality expressions of your being, which is also your higher self. And then finally, you will get to see all versions of every parallel reality as well as this Earth timeline expression of all beings on your planet. This is part of evolution, and it takes time to process.
Need some time to absorb. And there was once when I was listening to a YouTube video,
Okay.
and that person mentioned about a baby, and immediately I saw a vision of a baby. So what does that mean?
Well, that means that there was a part of your higher self that wanted you to see that baby. Whatever that means is truly up to your higher self and truly up to your consciousness. You may have been perceiving a baby from a past life, dear one. This particular information is better spoken off camera, and we will facilitate after the live has ended. Thank you. Thank you, start people. Okay.
Thank you so much. And yeah, and also, there was once that I saw a video clip.
Mhm.
Those children drawing when we were a child, we draw a human figure with a circle that represents the head, and then the straight line represents the body, and then with the two hands and two legs, and it turns into a video slides and video shows, and that was the first time that I seen it in my vision, where the whole video plays, I think something like 2 to 3 minutes, and I don't understand what's going on. What's happening actually?
Well, you saw this video in
Yes,
life, or you saw it in meditation?
in my vision, I was actually learning a remote viewing.
Uh-huh.
But instead of remote viewing a place, but a video slideshow is playing, and I was like, why does this video come into my vision?
There's always a reason. And sometimes, right now, in this very moment, we are not meant to know the reason. Now, that type of imagery, it could have just been there to show you that you're capable of perceiving anything in the reality. And because they're showing you images that children are making, it generally means, dear ones, that your guides were taking you down this path so that you would gently and lovingly recognize that you are able to perceive any information from all time and all space. Each person has an attunement to receive a particular type of information. For you, dear ones, they were starting with the childlike mind, which is why you were shown children's drawings. And it is specifically so that it would activate your solar plexus and allow you to activate your highest potential and your highest passion, which is contained inside of your inner child. That particular vision was an activation. And that activation allowed your inner child to raise its frequency and release certain densities and distortions, which then allowed you to raise your level of awareness. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for this answer.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it is.
It does.
Yeah, because it's like, so basically it's like all those images, all those whatever that comes into my vision, there is a purpose for it.
Always. There always is. There always is too,
Mm.
because we also have what's known as a dream walker ability. Now, the dream walker ability is when we have a dream and we wake up in the morning, and that dream is programming our magnetics. So that when we wake up, we then manifest according to the magnetics that we are programmed with. So it's of high, and we know this on so many levels because we have the dream dictionaries. And the dream dictionaries give us meanings. Oh, okay, well, you dreamed of a fish. Here's the meaning behind that dream. And then all of a sudden we can see that meaning manifesting in our real everyday waking world. So every single vision that we see, it's like a piece of information. But what it truly is an electromagnetic frequency, which then changes our alignment patterns. So even by seeing, let's say you see, let me see. Let's say you see the butterfly. The butterfly has a very special meaning. So when you see it, or you see it synchronistically, maybe every single day or every other day, it's because that frequency of the butterfly is pulling your alignment to align with whatever the meaning of the butterfly is. So this is another reason why tattoos are very, very important to be aware of. Because if you put a tattoo on your body without recognizing what the meaning behind the animal or insect or whatever type of artwork it is, it's going to have an effect on the alignment of your manifestations. Now, we can recognize this by number patterns. So whenever we see 333, that's the soul frequency's number. A triangle has 3 sides.
Yes.
333 makes up the triangle. And when we can identify that, every single thing in the physical reality flows in threes. There's 3 frequencies that reflect downwards into any type of simulation, generating the physical item. That's how our physics works. Now, when we put the number 333 on our bodies, it then starts to open and expand the solar plexus and allows our creative geniuses to tune into the source frequency of all potential. So by and this is a shaman would actually think this way. And that's because they saw everything by a synchronicity. And there's other tribes on the planets that also see things by a 2-dimensional perspective, where 2-dimensional is like looking at a blank sheet, it's looking at a sheet of paper. It's 2D. We live in the 3D, but certain tribes see things in 2D, in which the entire world, they see it as all connected. So they see it as it's one page of paper, whereas we see it as it's a tree, it's a grass, it's this, it's that. They see it as it's one piece of paper. So stepping into this awareness, it's like, okay, well, what frequency is this one particular item holding? And then how is that frequency going to affect my baseline frequency? And what is it going to manifest? Whether it be good or bad, every single thing manifests something according to its alignments.
And I remember there was once I went to attend this church service by Hillsong. This place is so special. Whenever I was there, and I have something unique happen. Like the first time when I was at that place, I got a free breakfast. Yeah. And there was one time when after the church service, I came out from that building. I see something. I see a pattern. I'm not sure how am I going to describe what I see. Basically, it's like I look at the point at the distance, and then I kind of like, having the thought is really unique, where at this moment in time and this day, right at this moment, where perhaps like somewhere something like 200 people come together to attend this church service. Yeah, it is really amazing where 200 strangers
Wow.
come together at one place at the same time. That is really amazing.
Amazing. That's amazing. Now
Yes.
imagine if you got those 200 people to all drop into a meditation or a prayer. It doesn't matter what religion they are. Close your eyes and see what world peace would look like for you. Whether you want to pray or whether you want to meditate, it doesn't matter. Just close your eyes and do it. And when we all start to do that together in one group, we close our eyes and we just thank the source frequency, or thank God, thank whoever it is that's in alignment with your belief patterns. Thank that person, whether it be yourself or an external being, and just hold the emotion of gratitude for seeing world peace, for seeing unity consciousness become activated. And the more and more we can start to come together in groups and we're able to hold that type of vibe,
Yes.
then we're going to see more and more of that manifest very rapidly. And so just when we did a live stream, it was right as all the hurricanes were around, and we had questions
Yes.
come through about the hurricanes, and we did literally what seemed like a 2-second manifestation. It was, I might have been in the shadow work Zoom while we did this, but it was thank you, source frequency, for sending the hurricanes back out to the ocean. And then all of a sudden, the very next day, I saw a short video of the hurricane about to hit Florida, and the eye of the hurricane disappeared right before making landfall. And everyone was like, prayers were answered. The eye of the storm, which means the most amount of damage, was removed. So that truly is the power of human consciousness. And I've seen that with hurricanes multiple times. And I've also had confirmation in the forms of rainbows that it was truly the power of our consciousness shifting the hurricanes out of our reality. So what that in itself tells us is that it's not just little me anymore. It's every single one of us are powerful creators. And when we come together to co-create, then all of a sudden we can change weather patterns, but we can also open and expand other people's hearts. We can send manifestations out to a location. So a location could be any area on this globe or on any other planet, and send it so much love and light that it heals that location for all people who live there. So that really is our power. That's our control, is where do you want to shine your love? That's our power, because we're starting to see it have real physical effects in the real waking world, and our physics backs us on that. It's beautiful. Absolutely
It is
beautiful.
yes, it is yeah.
Yeah.
It's really amazing session with you today.
Thank you for coming and for doing this. And
Yeah.
thank you for watching. All my online people are here too, and they're rooting us on.
Yeah, that is really amazing. And what is the takeaway for our viewers?
So the takeaway would always be, open your hearts and just have more love for yourself. Shine more love for all of the people outside of you, all the places, all the things, every single thing inside of you, and be at peace, and never stop seeking. Never stop looking for, your higher self or the spiritual knowledge. Become the seeker, because when you seek, more knowledge will flow to you, which is beautiful. And then I always, at the end of each session, I like to just say, thank you, star people, for giving us the most aligned information for all of the people watching throughout time and space. And thank you so much for loving us and for allowing us to be here co-creating this moment with you guys. Thank you.
Yes, that is really amazing. And thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. Before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to add or any message you want to leave our audience with?
Sure. Excellent question, dear ones. We are ever so gently stepping forward. We wish for each of you to call upon the star people. We are here to help assist all of humanity's evolution. Anytime you drop into any form of meditation, you may call upon us for guidance, for wisdom, and for support. We will always reply in a thought or emotion grid. You may also call upon us to facilitate energetic clearings. Anytime you wish to energetically rebalance your grids and you call upon us, you may always say thank you, and we will know it is okay for us to help assist you in this rebalancing. We also wish for each of you to recognize that while you are on the surface of the earth, you are not alone in this mission. There are many, many, many different races right now who are showing up for this moment in time and space. And we are here to help assist all of humanity in their growth and evolution. And we are sending many, many love and blessings, dear ones. Thank you for this co-creation.
Thank you so much. And that's a great message. We appreciate your time and expertise. Where can our audience find you?
Oh, perfect. So I'm at DanielleLipton.com, and you'll see scrolling links. YouTube under the lives is where all of the videos are, and you can watch them all. They're free, no ads, so that you guys can catch up on all of knowledge. Also on my Facebook pages, which you'll find the links on DanielleLipton.com, I do post out all of the books. So every page in the book has been posted on the Facebook page as a post. So all the information is there if you guys need it. Yeah.
Fantastic. We'll be sure to include those links in the YouTube description box. And thank you once again for being with us today. It's been a pleasure. And to our audience, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this interview, please subscribe and leave us a review or share it with others who might find it interesting. Until next time, goodbye.
Wonderful. Thank you.